What is up, everybody? Just posting this here on Locals. We are indeed live today from Thailand. Hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. I have a lot to cover. Actually, I just got some more to cover about the CFTOD because people started spazzing out. But that being said, what is up with all of you? Hope you guys are doing well. I am loving this sea of green in the chat. I'm seeing almost all green to start out here. I see Ted Park, Andrew F., Megan J., Maria Vargas, Grant Rasha, Marianne Nizo, The Buzz, CJC, Cadence, Bella Stella. Let's see, Colette Games, Marianne Nizio. Let's see who else we got here. I know we had Danielle up in the house, our mod. Shout to them. Is this live? It is indeed live. It is indeed live. Who else we got? Aaron up in the house. Aaron, how are you not a member? How are you not a member? I need to like donate a membership to you specifically. I don't know. You're not showed up as green. And I'm like, you're an OG in this channel. Torgo, what's going on? Bass player. Good to see you and all those out there. Popcorn Power. I think Andrew did nothing wrong. It's Memorex. This is so freaking live. We are so live right now. We are so freaking live right now. It's great. It's great. Oblivion, stop right there. Camera angle, Andrew. What is this? A bad camera? Is this not beautiful? Am I not beautiful enough? Am I not beautiful enough for you? I got some nice natural light here. I got a soft box against this wall. I think the lighting is all right on this one. I think I'm doing all right. Camera's real close. I got it kind of focused in. I can get it a little bit closer. I think that I moved it. I think I moved the camera a bit, but whatever. Is this my good side? Is this, should I just go to the side here of my profile? Andrew's the main character of his own story. Yeah, no, but we all should be. Let me just say one thing, guys. You all should be the main character of your own story, okay? If you're not, make yourself the main character of your own story. But absolutely. I imagine myself in my own anime manga world that like it is just me out there doing pretty wild stuff on the regular basis, including being here live with you guys from across the world. And we're going to talk about the 107 million. The 107 million is a tip of the iceberg. So I see Pinochet. I see you over here, Pinochet, giving those helicopter tours, saying 107 million is a drop in a bucket. Wait till we get into it, okay? It's not 107 million. It's more like billions lost. In fact, I didn't clickbait this one hard enough. You know what? I've got to apologize to you guys. I did not clickbait this thumbnail hard enough. I should have worked harder to clickbait this one. This was me underachieving on the clickbait. I'm like, oh, let me just go with the number. I'm like, oh yeah, I could make it a bigger number. I should have made it like billions because it is billions, and we'll talk about how it is billions. So I under clickbaited this one. It just happens sometimes. It just happens. Bella Stella, the 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much over there in the UAE. I love who called me out was Andrew F. It's like every time Bella donates, you say, look, I remember the folks that are abroad. There's certain people like Don Baca over there in Czech. There's folks that I know, especially my mods, my long-time members of the BLM and longtime members on Locals. I remember you guys. By the way, Locals, the live chat is still up. So I'm using the live chat from last time. So you'll see that live chat still up. You can scroll down. I'll pin it again. I think it may have gone down, but I'll pin it again so you guys see that there and have that. And I'll also make sure that I pin the stream so you guys can see all those things today. So if you're over there on legalmindset.locals.com, you should see both the audit, you should see the 107 million stream up there, and you should see the live chat. You can scroll down. The live chat is still up, the last live chat that's up. So if you want to be in that live chat, you can. I believe, Patrick was up in that hizzy earlier. I see Danielle's there. Trying to keep the same live chat and see if that's better or worse. Some people asked for it. So trying to do it that way. Ted Park says, another 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much, guys. We are setting records here with members. I love to see how the memberships have blown up. And, guys, make sure you have accept gift memberships on activated. So you get those. I see that like a lot of you guys are getting the memberships here. Somebody asked, how much is that in Thai baht? I don't know what the amount is, what like the membership conversion is in Thai baht. I'd have to do that math. I mean, obviously it's at an exchange rate because YouTube pays out in dollars, and it's whenever I get the dollars that it gets exchanged into Thai baht. I exchange it into Thai baht, not YouTube. So yeah, it's not YouTube's exchange rate, it's mine, which I think I get a better rate than YouTube. Just saying. Lesko says, in gay East activism, how much lose? We'll talk about I don't know what you're talking about East activism, but we will talk about Disney losing and what they're losing out on. It is billions. It is not even millions. It's millions immediately. So it's millions immediately, but in the longer run, it's billions, because what they're losing out on is just $107 million in baht. Okay, let me convert that. 107 million to Thai baht. It's going to be, times, let's see, Thai baht. That's okay. That's 3.8 billion Thai baht. So they lost out on 3.8 billion in Thai baht. Probably be trillion in won if I convert to won. And then if I convert it to dong, well, listen, guys, when we go dong, it goes really big. Like our dongs are huge over here in Asia. I know you haven't heard that very often, but dongs are absolutely massive. The amount of dong you get is so massive. It's crazy. It's crazy. R. John says, good evening from Windermere, Florida. Shout out to Windermere. Make sure you drive very slowly through Windermere. Those cops in Windermere are very bored, and they will pull you over. They will absolutely 100% pull you over. Windermere cops do not mess around. I'm trying. By the way, do I sound better today, guys? I'm trying to do a different mic position where I move my computer further away, my keyboard further away, and I move the mic really close. So I hope that I sound a little crispier, a little better, maybe a little bit less echo than last time. That's what I'm going for. Some in the chat, we need dogs. Very soothing voice. Okay, good. What's up, Tom? Good to see Midnight's Edge After Dark up in the house. Sorry, Tom. I know I got invites from you and on as well as from, I think Valiant may have sent me one. I was sleeping. I was up until like 3 a.m. My time, but that's because Thailand has just changed their opening time for nighttime stuff. So you can be at a bar, restaurant, whatever. You can be out until 4 a.m. So that's a nice thing. It's very nice. And sometimes I like to stay up a little late. You do sound better, and you're cracking me up. That's my goal. My goal is to crack you guys up. Okay, what really cracks me up is destroying some pixie dust. So strap in. Pinochet Helicopters Tour says, I made myself a main character in other stories. That's a good one too. Hey, listen, look. If it's like a really cool story, I'll be like the number one NPC. Like not number two, but I'll be like the number one. Like the side character that like gets his own spinoff. I'll take that. I'll take the side character that gets his own spinoff. But sometimes that spinoff is better than the main story. Right? Wasn't Seinfeld one of those? Wasn't Seinfeld like a spinoff? Right? Because Seinfeld was Cheers from Cheers. And a lot of people say they like Seinfeld better than Cheers. So, all right, let's get into the pixie dusters here because I want to get into some of this. This is some fresh news. This is actually not the main topic today. This is just some side bullshit that ended up coming out here. And I ended up seeing people comment on this and go off on it. So I'll show you guys what happened here. So what we had was, so we had this. Let me present here. We had Blog Mickey, which always, whenever it's Blog Mickey, let me just tell you guys, Blog Mickey, this is like one of the number one sources of pixie dust inhalation out there on the internet. Xena was a spinoff. Yeah, I liked Xena. Xena was all right. Xena was all right. People saying Lilith was hot. What are we talking about? Lilith? Who's Lilith? Oh, Lilith is from the show, right? Yeah, sorry. I did not. Oh, Frasier, sorry. See, I don't watch that much TV. Andrew is the Frasier of LawTube. Okay, I will take that. I will take the Frasier of LawTube, right? They spun me off, and now they can't stop me, right? They can't stop me. They can't get me. Nobody can stop me. They tried to snake me. They tried to, what is it? Oh, God, excommunicate me. It didn't work. Oh, it's great. Back taxes are being forcefully collected in South Carolina. Oh, that's interesting. Careful with your comments about Xena. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Frasier's wife from Cheers. Yes. Now I'm getting it. Yes. You mean a Disney blog is pro Disney? Holy shit. Yes. In fact, so yeah. So guys, blog.mickey is a great source of your copium, and the people that respond to this are absolutely golden. So I can't find it right now. I'd have to dig more than I really care to dig right now. But there was somebody this morning, and shout out to my boy Bert Macklin on Twitter. He's always great responding to these people, these people who think RCID is going away. So what happened here is this: the CFTOD, the district, which, you know, we watched that awesome board meeting, which was crazy and insane. So we watched that board meeting, and what they announced was the CFTOD, the district, just announced that they are canceling the December meeting, and next year they're moving from a schedule of 19 meetings. Okay, so they had 19 meetings scheduled for 2024, and they went to 13. Well, somebody responded, and once again, I wish I could find it real quick. In fact, if I can't find it in 1 second here, I will go back to what I was doing here. But I think, let's see if I can find this response here. No, okay, I can't find it. All right, so somebody responded to this and they said, looks like they're winding down this dog and pony show. They responded to this blog.mickey and said, looks like they're winding down this dog and pony show. So they took this as an indication that they're going from 13 meetings, and they canceled their December meeting. They said, oh, looks like they're going away. And I said, are you retarded? Are you an idiot? Okay. I represented over 40 special districts in Florida, specifically special districts. I formed about half of them. Okay. Most special districts only have one meeting a month. Many governments only have one meeting a month. There's oftentimes not a purpose for more than one a month. Now, when you're in budgeting season, yes, you sometimes need 2 meetings to handle the budget per month. You need because there's a notice, you have to put out a budget notice. And so 13 meetings is standard for governments. Celebration has about that many meetings, right? You know, if you look at Reunion, if you look at Bonnet Creek, if you look at all the surrounding CDDs, right? They have about that many meetings. You don't need 19 meetings. 19 meetings is meeting about every 2 or 3 weeks instead of once a month. And you don't need to meet that because you don't have business. And the thing is, here's the thing, guys. The thing is that each meeting costs money. I know it's shocking that people don't work for free. People do not work for free. So when you ask them to show up to a meeting, they expect to be paid. And some of those people, like your attorney, like an accountant, like anybody else who's an outside person, is paid by the hour. My job, okay, let me tell you, one of the biggest grifts of my job was I got paid hourly to sit in government meetings. Let me say that one more time. I got paid hourly to sit in government meetings. You guys want to know how much I got paid? You guys want to know how much I got paid? Tell you how much I got paid, or how much I got billed out. It depended, right? I'll give you a range because there are different clients, right? But I got paid anywhere between $250 to $450 an hour to sit in a government meeting. Now, I didn't get paid that. My firm got paid that, right? But I was sitting in a government meeting for up to $450 an hour for me. If my boss was doing it, because I was an associate then. If my boss was there, yeah, they're paying $600 to $700 per hour. We're sitting there. We don't have to say a word. By the way, you know what's included in that? Travel time. So anytime I'm driving, and I would drive to Fort Myers, to South Florida, that's included. They paid that. Those are billable hours. Who said it right there? Industrious Fair, billable hours. So them cutting back on that is smart. As a shyster lawyer who billed those billable hours, I can tell you from personal experience, they're doing the right thing of not having to keep the shyster lawyer on the line 19 meetings a year. 13 is plenty. You're going to get all the business done in 13. And what you have to do, and this is where I responded here. Let me kind of go back here. So here's my response. So read this. This is my response. It said, calm down, pixie dusters. It is very common to cancel unnecessary local government hearings. Each meeting costs thousands in staff time, so it's financially prudent to balance the need for meetings with the cost of running them. It's also common to cancel holiday time meetings. We would often cancel our meetings that were near Thanksgiving and Christmas. We even would cancel them if they're near fucking Easter. We would get, sorry, I don't mean to curse, but you know, and I like Easter. I love Easter. I love the bunny of Jesus. Oh, we're all good. Easter, we're good. Passover, we're good. We're good. Shalom, all that good stuff. Lent, we're good, right? Ramadan, I love you all, okay? I love everybody, right? Buddha's birthday, we're down with the Buddha. I'm loving that belly, okay? I'm loving that belly. That being said, it's good not to pay these people, okay? And canceling holiday time meetings when nobody wants to meet is smart. It's smart because, by the way, the staff aren't working hard around that time either, right? They're all kind of phoning it in. Let's be real, right? So this to me was a hilarious thing. This just happened before the stream. So I'm like, listen, these people don't give it a break. These people that are Disney, they're like these frothing Disney zealots. They do not give it a break. And I am waiting for the copium when the criminal lawsuits come. I am waiting for the copium. Especially if federal stuff comes down, which I believe it will. When the federal stuff comes down, I'm waiting for them to try to spend. The federal government is politically prosecuting us for our free. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry. I can't. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm like I'm PG-13 till I get rated R like 10, 15 minutes in. I'm really trying. I really am trying to keep the cursing down. Long Reach Jones says for 10 says, finally managed to reach you live. Here's a few dollary news from an Aussie fan. Speaking of Aussie fans, I don't know if this is even I don't even know if this is pretty. Someone tried to explain my co-host on Bangkok Bros. Ben tried to explain pommies to me. I don't think he did a good job of explaining it because there's a bar here called like the Pommy Bar, and he's trying to explain what they were. And like it's apparently like British transplants in Australia, and there's like a complex relationship there and whatever's going on there. I mean, look, I know about Australia. I know a little bit about Australian history, but not that much. But that was an interesting comment the other day. But thank you so much to my Aussies. There are many based Aussies out there. And I really appreciate you because you guys are absolutely fantastic. I actually hung out with a good Aussie friend of mine in Bangkok. We ended up getting pretty hammered. Not going to lie. We're not going to lie. Also, we've got like an Aussie, we got a good Aussie restaurant near here that does like the Aussie meat pies. It's good. It's good stuff. Ben says, Andrew knows about Australia that doesn't exist. No, it exists. I've been there, right? But the thing is, the reason why people think it doesn't exist because most people die after visiting Australia because 90% of the things there can kill you. Andrew now live randomly. It's not random. Why are people not getting the notifications? Oh, wait, because they're suppressing people. Did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch that news, by the way, that certain people in the manosphere, let me stop sharing this. Let me show you another one here. This is something I picked up, but before we get going here, but there were actual people that were paying to redirect traffic from folks in the manosphere. And I don't doubt that other people are doing similar things. So this is a post here. And let me just put this up if you guys didn't notice this. But DHS funded a study to funnel people away and intercept and divert Twitter Next traffic from specific people in the manosphere. So we're talking about Rollo Tomasi, Cobra Tate, Fresh and Fit, to divert people. I wouldn't be surprised if people were also on that list beyond just these type of individuals, right? Where Homeland Security is messing with social media and paying for that, right? Would not be surprised with that, and would not be surprised if people like Disney pay to say, hey, look, let's keep those notifications down. Let's keep them to a minimum. We're not going to silence them, because then they're going to get to speak up. We're just going to disincentivize them in the algorithm, right? That's all we're going to do. So I can see that. I can see that being a thing. And we constantly have to fight with it, right? We constantly have to fight with the algorithm. We have to fight with, getting our notices out there. Like right now, I'll put this link out on my community tab, because apparently people don't know. So just drop this out there so folks know on YouTube. Maybe they'll get notifications if I drop a community tab post. Who knows? Who knows? All right. So the next thing I want to get into is this South Carolina issue. Now, the best article here for this, I think, is this MoneyWise article. So I'm going to show this one right here. Wait, hold on. Is this true? Did DHS put Rolo on a no-fly list? Is that serious? If they put him on a no-fly list, that's crazy. It's crazy. No, it's not. People say, "Oh, you're paranoid." Not paranoid at all. I'm just saying that it is something that is happening, and you just have to accept it. It's just something that's happening. Something happening. I mean, YouTube doesn't make us lose subscribers for no reason, like randomly over time. Like channels, it's not just me, it's other people, where you'll see like all of a sudden robotically 250 people were lost on a day in which you didn't even stream. It's like, well, that's probably YouTube messing with things. And they do it at a certain interval. It's like 250, 250, 250, or 500, 500, 500. It's like, wow, exactly that many people. Weird. And guys, the advertisements on YouTube, yes, sorry about that. It's a new feature of theirs. I try to keep it kind of minimal. But I know that that's something that will like come up, that will come up. So yeah, no, I feel you. Okay. I feel you. And I understand that that's like, it is pretty annoying to get those ads, but it's going to happen. Right, it's going to happen. And you can't turn it off completely. The only thing I can do is like make it manual, or you guys can go to Brave or something else. I can make it manual. Like right now, if I want to, like, look at this. I can run it, right? I can force the ad. I'll do it right now, right? So I can force the ad. See, you guys get an ad right now? So you guys get an ad right now? I can force the ad, but I can't turn it off. If I don't do it, they're just going to run it. So I tried to force the ad there. So like, that's the only way. You guys didn't get it? Okay. All right. Well, maybe they're running it anyways, right? I'll try to do it again. Let me do it again. Boom. I'm going to start another ad. Boom. There you go. No ad. Coffee brand coffee. Is it advertising coffee brand coffee? Wait, hold on. Are they advertising coffee brand coffee on my channel? I am Premier, you peasant. Sorry, is this live? I should know better. That you are Premier. That you are absolutely Premier. I mean, you're out there watching a lot of YouTube. So yeah, Premier is definitely a thing if you're watching a lot of times. Okay, no ad. All right. People say yes. Makeup ad, jewelry ad, no ad the second time. Okay. Airline commercial. Okay. My health is for health insurance. Okay, got it. Cool. No, I'm just testing it, guys. I'm sorry. I know I've never tested this function. Okay. It's my first test. Test this function. No more testing the function. Hopefully that gets rid of the ads for the rest of it, so it doesn't run anymore. That said, let's move on here and get into the article, get into today's meat and potatoes. So let's start with the MoneyWise article here. This is the article. We're going to watch the video. So we're going to watch the actual video. Tremendous loss to America. South Carolina dumping $105 million of Disney investments due to structural rot in the company. Treasurer warns the sane people are now gone. Time to sell Diz. Okay. So when I started talking about when I started talking about Disney, I told you the rabbit hole is going to go deep for them. And the issue here is that South Carolina has decided to dump these investments, and it is not a coincidence that is happening at the same time as both Elon Musk has come out and said Disney is stopping our speech. Disney is trying to silence us by pulling ads, by threatening us with money. So as Elon said, right, and we'll play the clip here because of course we've got to play the clip. Wait, it is here, right? It is here. Sorry. This is the wrong clip. It's the wrong clip, guys. We'll make sure we get the right clip. Make sure we get the right clip here. We've always got to have the right clip. All right, here we go. So, of course, when that all started, as you guys know, this went down. And, the quite famous. And
there was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
666 here in the chat.
Yourself.
There we go.
I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
So there we go. That was where it started, right? With Elon. Of course, it doesn't end there. It goes over to the audit. So they're hit with this, from Elon, but also the audit. And a lot of people aren't talking about this, but guess who is talking about this? People in government, people in finance, in the corporate world. They are talking about this. This is something that I'm getting emails right now from people on the inside that say, Andrew, you are spot on about RCID. It's been an open secret in Disney. I have Disney high ups messaging me that are pretty high up in the structure, pretty well connected or in there. And they're messaging me saying, you are right on about RCID. You are right over the target with RCID. And now that they know that they are committing crimes, right, potentially, right, I have to say potentially because they haven't been convicted yet, but they have a lot of information into the dirty dealings of Disney. Now that they know that is no longer a safe and prudent investment for a government to be investing in. So when you have coupled with Elon plus Disney being exposed in this audit as pretty clearly being complicit in the dirty dealings of RCID and the shenanigans that went on with what looks like bribing public officials and wild misuse of public money of $700 million in public money. Yeah, that's a big deal. And governments can no longer invest in Disney knowing that their public funds are now put at risk. Because if Disney doesn't care about the bonds for Reedy Creek, why would it care about South Carolina bonds? Why would it care about anybody else's investments? It clearly doesn't care about these investments. It clearly took them as a joke. It clearly spat in the face of everybody who bought those bonds, including JP Morgan, BP, all these big companies. And listen, these big companies don't forget. When you start screwing with people's money, particularly institutional investors, you are making a fatal error. Disney is addicted to debt. They've done all of these things by going into debt and having leverage. Imagine a Disney where they don't have leverage. That's a dead Disney. Disney has only survived by massively using debt. In fact, they said they plan to use debt in the future for their acquisitions. That's how they're going to do things. So you have it there that they need that debt, they need that money that they don't have themselves. They cannot cash flow their purchases. They cannot cash flow their acquisitions. They can't even cash flow keeping themselves around, keep themselves afloat. They're having to access debt. So I think this is a huge problem going forward. Leprechaun Gold says, rats on the menu tonight. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the $10 Leprechaun Gold. Thank you so much for supporting their channel so fervently. Really appreciate you. Panicia's helicopter tour said DHS conspired with the Brits to subvert the Constitution through CISA, CTIL. CTIL is no doubt behind the QBS from 2020. They also protected corporations. Yes, absolutely behind the QBS. Floral says, this is a good time to play the hit song. Dang it, Bob. Conveniently in a folder in your DMs on Twitter. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little later. Thank you so much, Flora. Appreciate you. Lily Smith says, why would the government do anything when Biden has offered these companies incentives so they push hard for DEI, regardless of their bottom line? Well, here's the thing. They're not all in lockstep, right? The Democratic establishment is not in lockstep with Biden, for example. They're not in lockstep with, they're going at different agendas. They're going at different points. And you see even now with Disney, especially when you look at the gender pay lawsuit, look at the union issue, Disney is not in lockstep with the party line. These things are not hand in hand. They may be pushing DEI, but they're not that woke, they're not that perfect, super ideal woke corporation that they could be, right? They're not that, socialist utopia that they want. So yeah, there's an ability for them to come after them because they can say, okay, we're going to take down Disney, right? Because they're not perfect, because they don't live up to our ideals. That's the perspective, I think, from the left. I think Disney is not viewed, I think, by the crazy leftists and the Biden people, and even the Uniparty. It's not viewed as a necessary component. It might be an ally of convenience, but it's not a necessary component to their strategy. So I don't think they need to throw out all the stops to save Disney in the same way they had to throw out all the stops to save Hunter Biden, right? So this is not Hunter Biden. Disney is not Hunter Biden. That's the best example I can throw out there. Disney is not Hunter Biden. If Hunter Biden went down, Joe Biden would have gone down. So you have to protect Hunter, right? From a political party apparatus standpoint. You don't have to protect Disney. Disney can go down. The Democratic Party would be just fine. Biden would be just fine, right? Even though he's not, right? Let's be very clear. Is This Live says it's the reporters, but that just kills me. Yeah. Just Me says, I typed this on Locals, but I can't get the chat up, and you are not being paranoid. I've had to hit the subscribe button twice in the last months. Yeah, see, so when people in the chat, who, by the way, I love how the people who tell me I'm paranoid in the chat are just random lurkers that are not members. They're not subscribers. It's like some random person pops up. Hello, CIA, FBI. I know you're out there, Fed boys. I know you're watching. Disney people, right? The Disney people that are out there watching, because I know they're watching too. They're out there trying to say things, make comments, drop hate, all this stuff. And it's just like, guys, I see your stuff a mile away. You're not watching, you're not listening, you're not paying attention, and you're not analyzing things critically. If you had some critical advice, I'm going to listen to it. But thinking that we're not being suppressed or we're not having our subscribers unsubscribed, our notifications aren't going out. Look, we've got 750 people. That's awesome. Guys, smash the like button, share it out on Twitter, share it out. Twitter, the freest platform we've got right now, that's hitting a large market. Share it out, share out the stream, so everybody sees it. And that will be very, very, very helpful. But yeah, no, we're going to get the word out. We're going to get more people in there. Bert Backlund, new member. Welcome. Appreciate you. I wonder if it's the same one from the Twatters, but shout out to you for having a good response to that blog.mickey. That got my attention to that today and let me bring that up. So thank you. If that's you, thank you. Brian Telesh says, go SC. There are more red states than blue. More states need to do the same. BlackRock et al. Force woke. Let's force the opposite. Yes. And here's the thing. Why does the state money need to go towards woke corporations? Why is the government, the state, investing in a political corporation? Riddle me that, Batman. Why do they need to do that? It's ridiculous. Yeah, see, Caden says here, I randomly unsubscribe and then resubscribe for no reason, right? That happens. That does happen. That's why I say people need to check. You need to make sure you're still subscribed to not just me, but everybody else who's out there. Okay, back to this article. Oh, well, I'll get this one from Butterbiscuit. Butterbiscuit says, nice to catch you live for once. I have always had to catch the replays. Keep up the good work. Who knew all of this could be more entertaining than anything Hollywood's creating these days? Guys, because we're teaching the actual story. We're trying to educate and entertain as we tell the real story of Disney falling apart at the seams. The story of Disney's meltdown, their potential crimes, right? Their mess ups, their lies, their losses. This is far more intriguing than the stuff that Disney is putting out. Disney's real story is better than their fiction. The facts of Disney, the facts are better than the fiction. We're in a strange world, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right. So this is the treasurer of South Carolina. We're going to hear from him in a second in the video. So the story of Disney has been far from a fairy tale. Tesla's CEO, Elon Musk, recently called for Bob Iger to be fired immediately. Real quick, so you see those tweets here, because I want you guys to know this is not BS, right? This is something that actually really happened. You have here Elon, and this is the tweet. So this was talking about Bob Iger thinks it's cool to advertise next to child exploitation material. Real stand-up guys. Let me click on this real quick. So the whole Mars catalog. This is about Facebook and Instagram content enabled child SA and trafficking, and according to a New Mexico lawsuit. So Disney advertised next to that, because remember, the whole thing with Elon and his suit against Media Matters is Media Matters made it sound like there was white nationalist Nazi stuff next to corporate content on Twitter, even though they completely made that up. But while Disney pulled their ads, so Disney pulled their ads from X over a totally bunk narrative from Media Matters, but yet they continue on Instagram and on Facebook to advertise next to exploitive material, which led to child crimes and child trafficking. See, Disney has a very uncomfortable relationship, particularly with child trafficking. If you look at what Grady Judd has done in Polk County in arresting the Disney monsters, he has arrested several people that are in jail now for crimes involving children in Polk County. Grady Judd is doing a great job of cleaning that up. But why it happens to come to Disney, well, you can imagine the type of person that would come to Disney for that, but they obviously are not doing a good enough job of screening for that. Pinochet's helicopter tours says Trump's RICO equal fake. Disney's RICO is real. Yes, Disney is really engaged. And from me looking at this, if I'm the Attorney General of Florida, I am bringing a RICO case against Disney, 100%. I am bringing a RICO case, and I'm going in there, and I'm just gutting them over that, because they were involved in bribing public officials. They were involved in using public funds, right? Which is a huge crime. The misuse, the misappropriation of public funds is a massive crime. So they're involved in that, not on the scale of $10. This is not like they bought themselves a Chick-fil-A sandwich when it wasn't technically their working hours. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about millions of dollars in Central Florida. Actually, in the aggregate, because of over time, it's billions of dollars in Central Florida, particularly involving fines and punishments. It's billions in Central Florida. This is not chump change. This is the most serious government corruption that will ever hit. These cases will set precedent forever in the state of Florida. I'm telling you right now, the cases brought against Disney, what they bring and what they don't bring, will forever set local government precedent in Florida, period. I cannot explain to you, especially in my field that I know, my area, this is going to set precedent, period. Local government. So Mario Trujillo says there's going to have to be an entire law course about the RCID case alone. It also covers so many subjects, but the very least it'll require learning. Okay, let me talk to you guys about this, because people have been asking me, and I'll put this up real quick. People have been asking me. Some people said I should write a book about it, but I've been debating, is book the best format? I could make a comic, but I made a comic, and I could make a comic on this. I can make it into a short story. I can make it into an audiobook. I could do a lot of different formats to kind of do the history of Reedy Creek. So if you guys could let me know in the comments, in the chat, what would you be most interested in seeing, right? I don't know about a law course. I could do a law course. You are right. I could do an entire law course on RCID, right? But what would you be really interested in seeing? What type of stuff would you be? Saying, yeah, see people like this lobby. Okay, I'm going to read this one. I'm not going to put up the person, but we have a pixie duster in the chat who says lobbying is not RICO. What lobbying? Okay. We're talking about bribery, dumbass. Okay. What lobbying were they doing? Bribery. So at what point is bribery not RICO? Bribery is RICO at the federal level and at the state level. Haas. Okay. So bribery, i.e., paying a public official an unauthorized amount or benefit, which Florida law is very clear on that. Giving benefits and gifts, yeah, that's bribery too. That's bribery too. Paying the taxes of a public official is per se bribery. There's no arguing that, bud. There's no arguing. And we have the receipts. We literally already have that receipt. It's sold. I'm sorry. I know your copium is hard. I know the pixie dusters come in here and they have really hard copium. But the fact alone that they paid, that Disney is on the record, is paying the taxes of the Reedy Creek board members and the city of Buena Vista or city of Bay Lake of their board. That's it. The case is done. They just file that evidence, and Disney has a choice. They can plea or they can be found guilty. There's no argument. They can't say, it's a per se, it's a statutory thing. It's on its face, prima facie case. It's done. Then we go over to the bond funds. That's the same situation. Did they spend those money on something that is public or something that is private? That's the analysis. Are the lime, grapefruit, and orange garages public? That's the argument. Unless you can make an argument to me that those are public garages, which I'm willing to entertain that. If you want to try to argue, yeah, Andrew has no evidence, only 78 exhibits. I have no evidence, only 78 exhibits with all of the receipts. Yes, I have no evidence at all whatsoever. Only actual facts. Like Mad says, the copium is real, and the people that come in here and they just get so mad. The pixie dusters get so mad and they start just frothing at the mouth. The bonds are a real problem. Tech Park knows. Tech Park's the guy who knows about bonds. The bonds are a real problem. They're an absolute real problem. So some people I see saying a book. Some people say book. A book would be best, could be cited whenever it's necessary. Books seem more professional. Podcasts would be good. Cartoon movie. I think it's going to end up in a lot of things. It's going to end up in a lot of radio style audiobook. Well, if I do a book, I can do an audiobook. Audiobook or comic, or both. Could be both. Could do like the coloring book, comic book, the coloring book. That might be easier to get out quickly than the full book. Because listen, the full book is not written yet because we still have the cases to close, right? So there might be something that's like out in the interim, like the ABCs of Reedy Creek corruption, right? That might be like an intro here, but then we go on here to say, okay, here's the full book, which details the cases, because it's a little bit premature before we have a ruling on what's happening with Reedy Creek and what's happening with CFTOD in terms of Florida lawsuits and in terms of the criminal charges. So, but I agree about that. Something will be mad, and I will do something. So that is coming. That's my next product is going to be solely related to this issue. Maria Vargas was explaining to my friend about Disney, know a lot more now. Yeah, you guys are really well educated. Anybody watching this show is really educated in this. Butter Biscuit says, can you explain the meaning of RICO? RICO stands for racketing. Hold on, let me make sure I get the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. So I always get the influenced or influencing wrong. So Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Practices Act. So it started as a U.S. federal law. So it was a U.S. federal law. Most states have passed their own version of RICO. This was a set of laws, or rather statutes, which were intended to go after the mafia. It was used in the 1970s by Richard Nixon to prosecute the mafia. Since then, it's been used widely to go after people in drug context, in terms of organizational context, because you have, for example, in any organization, you have the Godfather, right? And now this can be not just in the mafia, but let's look at a corporation. Who's the Godfather in a corporation? The CEO. When is it possible to get the CEO? Almost never. Because does the CEO actually commit the bribery, the forgery, the fraud, whatever? No. But are they the ones that direct it? Yes. And because they direct it, or they direct others to do things which lead to the fraud or the bribery or the criminal activity, you need to be able to go up the chain. So RICO allows you to go up the chain. Now, the feds have used it in an improper manner. They've used it to prosecute people for political reasons, chiefly and most famously Trump. Well, Trump is a Georgia RICO case, but Georgia's RICO is based off the federal RICO. But they've used it for many people. The feds have used it for political purposes as well. So they use it to prosecute people wildly for things that they were only tangentially related to. So the feds have wildly overused it. That's my TLDR on RICO. We could do an entire episode on RICO. In fact, we'll probably have to do an episode just like literally the RICO case of Disney, right? Like, or Disney's RICO case. And I just go through building it up with just the exhibits that we have. With just the exhibits that we have, we can build that. That'll be a future episode. But I need time to build that and build that presentation. I'll put it out in a PowerPoint and present it all to you guys there. Cartoon collaboration with that umbrella guy. Maybe, yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I would love to work with him. I love Tug. He's a great guy. Big shout out, big love to Tug. He's like me. And you know what I learned from Tug? Me covering Disney is a result of that umbrella guy telling me, hey, I focus on one topic and I really learn it. That's me with Disney. I know Disney. I've been covering this. No other lawyer has covered this as much as me. Although shout out to Ron Coleman for, dipping his toe in the water and coming over to interview me. Pops on other channels as well. But, I'm a dog on the bone with this Disney thing and I'm not letting it go. Right. So honorable mention to Ron, but nobody's really been in this. And certainly nobody else knows Florida special district law like I do. And I knew a year ago, before any of this came out, this was going to be criminal and there was going to be criminal issues with this. So your boy called it. Pinochet says, teaching us viewers about case counts towards CLE, it should. I need to check on my CLEs. I probably am overdue on doing my CLEs, to be honest, but I'm going to get on that. But CLEs are such a pain. CLEs are continuing legal education. We have to do like 30 or so credits per cycle. And they always add in new shit, and they're continually adding woke shit. Like, oh, you have to learn about diversity. You have to have a diversity credit. I'm like, how about you diversity? Go screw yourself. Okay. Just Me says, I know 3 lawyers in Texas that are waiting for the first IRS audit and then to hit the RCID bondholders so hard they can find treble damages in Texas. Yes, that will be huge when they're able to come after them, when they're able to come after them in multiple states, because this becomes a interstate issue, because the bondholders are not just in Florida, they're all across the United States. In fact, some of them are probably all over the world. Andrew's pop-up book on RCID corruption, a children's picture book for deprogramming pixie dusters. Now with scratch and sniff, how it says, oh, I like that. I like that concept. So like pixie dust recovery program, like frame it in a pixie dust recovery context, like recovering the Disney adult, right? That is very great. That was really RCID for Disney adults. That's it. That's a good title. I'm going to work on the title, but that's a pretty good one. It's a coloring book, so even they can get it. Perfect. Sliding Edge says, what's the far limits of RICO? Can it be used against a corrupt government or just non-government actors? Technically, it may be used against local government, state government. I would doubt the federal government would use RICO against itself. And in most states and local governments, also, there are specific laws which apply to local government corruption. So a public official misusing their office or misusing their power, that's a specific statutory violation, a specific violation. So there's a separate crime for the people in power. By the way, it's usually worse. If they're caught misusing their power, that's usually worse than the crime that would apply to a civilian. So that's typically pretty bad. Leprechaun Golds is a $4 super sticker. Thank you so much. All right, back to the article here, rather the tweet. So here's the tweet from Elon. Elon says that. And then Natalie says, why hasn't Disney fired that guy yet? Elon follows up by responding, which I liked, by the way. He should be fired immediately. Walt is turning in his grave over what Bob has done to his company. I did like some of the replies here. Sergey said, he came back to turn things around, and the only thing turning around is Walt Disney in his grave. Elon laughed at that one. Yeah, it absolutely is true. He's desecrated Walt's legacy. And look, Walt has gotten a black eye from this because now with this RCID, it's come out, and we've had to have this conversation about Walt Disney, who's a beloved figure. And I've had to say on my channel, look, Walt probably knew they weren't going to do RCID like he said they were going to do RCID. He probably was overselling it. Now, I'm not saying that he was doing it in a manner that was malicious. I mean, look, everybody sells a dream, and then you sell something that's below the dream. I don't think he intended for there never to be anybody there. I think Walt genuinely intended for workers to live at Disneyland. I think he genuinely intended that. However, none of that came true. Neither his original vision nor workers living in mass, right? Those 100,000 workers, Disney being employed by people who solely live on Disney, that never happened. And they ended up putting all of the burden on the surrounding governments for all of those roads, all those impacts, all those things they use. All those burdens are put on the governments around them. So yeah, Walt's cryogenically frozen head. So let's go further here in the actual article on the South Carolina losses. Then we'll play the video here. So according to Treasurer Kurt Loftus, the decision to divest has to do with the company's management. Adding that it does not bode well for the future of the company, saying, I think it's clear to anybody paying attention there is structural rot inside Disney. It is deep, it is pervasive, and I suspect Bob Iger, since his return as CEO, now realizes it can't be fixed. No, I think Bob Iger is the cause of it, so he's giving him there. Loftus criticized Disney's embrace of ESG, arguing that it deviates from the core principles of investing. People sometimes forget that ESG has nothing to do with investing. ESG is a speech and behavior code that was created by the left and delivered to everybody else under those virtuous circumstances or presumed circumstances. The most significant issue lies not in the policies themselves, but in the individuals at the helm of the company. So they are literally saying that it is Bob Iger that is causing them to divest. Okay? There have been cultural and managerial shifts within Disney, linking them to the company's recent performance challenges. The sane, sober, talented people are gone. Sane, sober, talented, mature people, they're gone. They're not there. Now you have the gender studies crowd running Disney. This is why their movie flops and their market cap, I think, is about half of what it used to be. It's a tremendous loss to America. We all grew up on Disney. I agree with that. We all grew up on Disney. At the time of writing, Disney shares traded at $92 a piece, reflecting a rise. However, the stock is still down 50% from its all-time high of 201 in March 2021. So it's really taken a hit. And what is it here? In a separate interview, Loftus said that his state's exit from Disney investments shouldn't lead to any material impact on the company. We're not going to cause them real harm. I just want other people to see that you can stand up to these people and live to invest another day. There are plenty of good investments that aren't as risky as Disney. I actually disagree with this. So I disagree with that. I think he's downplaying this in a real way because he doesn't want to cause a market panic and he doesn't want to be blamed, South Carolina to be blamed, for causing a run on Disney. But what we have to not undersell here, is the fact that when one government does something, the other governments pay attention. And the reasons why they do something are very material. So other governments, other red states particularly, we're looking at you, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Louisiana, North Carolina, South Carolina, like you guys, Montana, all you guys out there, your states, your pension funds, your treasurers are not going to invest their money. And these guys have significant money. South Carolina has billions of dollars to invest. So they're now saying out of their billions, they will not invest a single dollar into them. And because they're not investing a dollar, please make sure you invest by smashing the like button If you like people divesting from woke Disney, make sure you smash the like button. Really helps us out in the algorithm, guys. We're almost at 400 likes. We're at 395. So let's get 5 more likes at least. Get up there to 400, and I would really appreciate that. 864 watchers right now on the YouTubes. Rumble was acting up today, guys. I'm going to try to every day. I try to get Rumble up. If Rumble acts up, it's just going to be loaded. It's just going to be uploaded afterwards. It's going to be uploaded after to Rumble. But I think Rumble's been under a DDoS attack, so I think they're down currently. So I think that's what's going on. So thank you all. Okay, we're at 430 likes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You can keep liking though. If we get to 450, I'll love you even more. All right, so let's play this video. I want you guys to see the actual video coming through here from the treasurer and what he was saying in his own words. Not from me, from him. So let's play this and have him tell you. It's on Fox Business. Okay, Fox.
I think it's clear to anybody paying attention that there's a structural rot inside of Disney. It's deep, it's pervasive, and I suspect Bob Iger, since on his return as the CEO, now realizes it can't be fixed. And I believe that it does not bode well for the future of Disney. I did make my decisions for that, but it certainly can't be ignored. People sometimes forget that ESG has nothing to do with investing. ESG is a speech and behavior code that was delivered, it's created by the left and delivered to everybody else under these virtuous circumstances or presumed circumstances. But really, it's about the transfer of power, and it's been complete at Disney. The sane, sober, talented, mature people are gone, and now you have the gender studies crowd running Disney, and that's why their movies are flops. And their market cap, I think, is about half what it used to be. It's a tremendous loss to America. I mean, we all grew up on Disney. We have been watching the Disney saga for some time, but I don't like to be too heavily involved in politics.
He's watching me.
It's not in my home state.
He's watching me.
But it really bothered me, and I believe it's symptomatic that they just left their fiduciary responsibilities behind because they ganged up with other billionaires now and are trying to put a legal business out of business.
So hold on real quick. He just said, did you just catch that? Disney left their fiduciary duties. Did you guys catch that? Disney abandoned their fiduciary duty. You don't say these things as a person in the finance world, right? And I know if Mike Mexican Iron Man was on here, he'd be jumping up and down. You don't say words like that in the finance world. Saying abandoning your fiduciary duties from a treasurer standpoint, that's like saying, like, F your mama, right? Like, it is the worst insult you could say to anybody. Like, it is really, really bad. Like, in people's professions, like, there are certain things that you can be called or said, right? So in the legal profession, for example, doing something with your client's money is the biggest no-no ever, right? In the legal world, touching your client's money is the biggest no-no. You'll get disbarred for it immediately. That's it. It's over, right? So anybody accuses you of that, it's very serious. Those are fighting words, right? With a doctor, right? Compromising doctor-patient, right? Or committing maybe med mal, right? Very serious accusations to be taken seriously. Things that you say when you're a financial person, particularly a treasurer, are you are not a good fiduciary. You are not a good steward of money. That's bad. That's really bad from a treasurer, right? Yeah, it's almost better. Industrial Spirit said it's almost better to say you're a scumbag. Calling somebody a scumbag is essentially what they're saying there. CBG says, so Disney's actions in Florida is a literal threat to democracy. How many have turned a blind eye to this? So many, CB. So many people have just like ignored what Disney's doing, and they've ignored their crimes. They've said they're not committing. They're just, it's okay, it's fine. But I don't think that's going to go on for much longer. I think the Disney adults, they don't realize that sometimes, because they're Disney adults, what they don't realize is Disney needs some pain. They need some punishment to get back in line. They're like the spoiled child that has gotten way out of hand and they need some correction. Okay. And it's about time for that spanking. It's about time for Disney spanking. And this is one of the hands, right? This hand right here is one of the hands that's going to spank Disney. I'm here for it. I ain't letting anybody judge me for it. I don't care how many pixie dusters get mad. I'm paddling Disney. Bringing out the old paddle. We're going Catholic school style on this one. Okay. Let's continue here with this presentation by the South Carolina Treasurer. Once again, this is the Treasurer of South Carolina.
I don't use Twitter personally. I'm not technologically savvy enough to spend any time on it. So to me, this is all about a gang of billionaires in this kind of a faction of hooligans trying to put somebody out of business. And who are they really putting out of business? They're putting the working class people, the middle class people.
Very true.
Who use the platform for free speech. That's who they're trying to put out of business. And I don't think it's proper for this gang of billionaires to pick on people who can't afford to fight back. And so I decided to let the debt roll off in its natural fashion. That way it didn't cost the state anything. We just won't be buying any more of their debt. Disney and IBM and Walmart and the others that are participating in this so-called advertising boycott, which we all know it has nothing to do with advertising boycotts.
Everything to do with politics. Everything to do with politics.
Are acting like hooligans in a gang fight.
Yes.
They want to put out the one free speech platform that's left. They want to put hundreds of millions of people, they want hundreds of millions of people to lose their ability to speak at scale.
Yeah.
And I think that when billionaires push their weight around and use the resources of their multi-billion-dollar global companies, that is unacceptable, and that people have to stand up and say no.
So there you go. There you guys have it. Honestly, like the guy is very well spoken for a treasurer. He was very well spoken. I mean, to be honest, guys, treasurers are usually like wormy little introverts that cannot speak at all. He actually was very articulate and did a really good job of presenting. So I'm really impressed. And what he said is spot on. What he says is absolutely spot on. By the way, I love my wormy little introverts. They're my homeboys. I have an inner wormy little introvert. That's the side of me that likes playing board games and watching anime. But that being said, I absolutely agree with everything he said there. They're trying to look at how strong they're coming out. Look at how strong they're attacking free speech. The second a platform, here's the tell. Were they attacking Twitter before? Pre-Elon Twitter had all of these same issues, but magically they're having these issues when Elon stands for free speech. Magically. And Elon said it. He said it on that Spaces, which, by the way, they're coming after Elon for that Twitter Spaces. CNN covered the Twitter space where it was Alex Jones, Vivek, Elon. Who else was in there? Michael Flynn, Andrew Tate was in there for a while. And they're covering the fact that people are out there speaking freely. Isn't that what our country is supposed to stand for? Shouldn't you be proud of that you're supporting free speech in our Constitution? And he came out and said, Elon came out and said in that space, he said, look, all we're doing is we're only banning what's illegal. If it's constitutional, we'll put a community note, we'll do something else, but we're not going to ban it from the platform. And they're the only people that have done that. And look, I understand that there are still people out there that are banned that should be unbanned. I think that process will get better over time. I know #FreeCamelot, right? But it's getting better. And I stand for the concept and the principle of free speech. And the fact that the principle of free speech is clearly under siege right now is a huge problem. It's a massive problem. Let's get these super chats. Disney shareholders need to sue. Dang it, Bob. They will. I think it's coming but here's what I think they're waiting for, okay? They're waiting for what they're waiting for. People trying to call me here. People trying to call me. What am I doing? What are you doing here, guys? What are you doing here? So they are going to sue if they do not go through with the proxy fight. So there's obviously the proxy fight that's going on right now with Nelson Peltz. If Nelson Peltz takes over, Nelson Peltz gets those board seats, I think they're going to hold off. Now, if Bob wins this, if Bob somehow comes up on top, I think they're suing. Okay. So I think it depends whether Peltz and Perlmutter, who've teamed up, win. If Peltz and Perlmutter win here and they take the W, I think they let those guys restructure, rebrand the country, settle these issues, settle the criminal issues, play nice with everybody. I think they can do that. Now, by the way, we've gone to the point where even, and let me point this out, even if Perlmutter and Peltz take over, because of the RCID stuff and how severe it is, even Peltz and Perlmutter will have to deal with the criminal consequences of this. Now, they won't be liable if they come in and they stop this issue. They won't be liable themselves personally, but they're going to have to deal with, from a company financial standpoint, any fines that are levied against Disney. So Disney may be hit with fines, penalties, legal liability for RCID, regardless, because Disney did those things, right? The corporation as a separate entity. Doesn't matter whether it's Eisner or Chapek or Iger. The entity is the thing that did it, right? So you've got that. They're going to have to contend with. Why is the right so on the culture war? So sad it's fallen to the stupid lefties who don't care about money at all. Yeah. It's very much true. David, agree with you there, JL. I agree with you. Dale says, you have to wonder if the rot has spread outside of Florida since they use the same accountants for 90 years. Yes, 90 years of using PricewaterhouseCoopers. You guys watch the video. Go back if you didn't see the video that Mexican Iron Man showed of the internship. The internship where literally you've got a kid who looks like he's straight out of high school, who's on Disney property. I think he was in the Grand Floridian or whatever the hell it was. And he was like, we're out here in the club and, they given us Mickey pretzels and we got a trans fairy godman, sending us to Disney World. It was absolutely nuts. And those people are supposed to be independent auditors. That's an auditor. That guy looked like he couldn't even pump my gas. Okay. It was really nuts. David Murnane says, you have to, oh no, I got that one. Archer Merchant says, unrelated, but is it true that one night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster? Oh, it makes a strong man humble, baby. I'm a real humble man. I'm just saying, I've spent more than one night in Bangkok. I am quite humble. Aaron asked, by the way, was this before or after the audit? It appears to me it was after the audit. Those statements were after the audit. Now, what I don't know is, does he understand the audit the way I do? My speculation is I think he does. And as more people are forwarded my video, by the way, if your state is investing in Disney, please feel free to forward my videos to them. Feel free to inform them of this and what's going on, because they should know that you do not want your state investing in Disney, and you should let your representatives know. You should contact your local representative, your state representative, and say, I do not want you investing in Disney. Please make sure our state is not investing our funds in Disney. Especially if you live in a red state, you should for sure do that. If your local representation is not super woke, you should go in and say, don't contribute to Disney. Don't send our public dollars to subsidize ESG. Please. And thank you. Yeah. So that's where we're going to that. I imagine that a lot of money will be pulled. I think a lot of money is going to be pulled from Disney by all of those corpos. Okay. So that's what we got for today. I've got a lot of work to get to today, but we will be back. I've got so much reporting to do. This one was a pop-up issue, but it's been great, you guys. I try to keep my streams I keep my streams airtight. I don't waste time. I hit all the super chats. I'm just keep it super efficient. That's because I love you guys and I keep you up to date with the best information, keep you educated, entertained, and get you in and out of here and acknowledging everything and moving through your day. So appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow with a stream. So I will catch you later, guys. Take care. Peace.